people who cannot sit at home, thank you so much for being here. So I was on TV.
Canadians love their road trips, so we asked Ontario road tripping TikToker Emma for her top tips to think about before you hit the open road.
Here are some fun tips and tricks for your next trip from me, Ontario Road Tripping. First up, make sure that your car is in great condition.
This was such a cool experience. The show's name is The Good Stuff with Mary Burke. It's on CTV. And specifically, this was season 2, episode 156, if you want to check it out. I also want to note that I really enjoyed the Mary Burke show. I think it's so much fun. It's very fresh. She's very upbeat. There's lots of cooking, but there's also lots of cool tips. There's like a tech element. Over here, they even went on a road trip. Very dynamic show, totally you should check it out. You can watch it for free on the CTV app online, or if you have any of the Bell providers. I think Crave is one of the main ones. Basically, if you have CTV, you should be able to see the show. So they reached out to me and asked if I could provide some tips and tricks, and I did. So for this video, I thought I would do pretty much exactly the same thing, except there's gonna be more. I'm gonna show you what was in the segment, and I'm also gonna add a couple of more road trip tips that I think are really useful. So let's go. So the very first and the most important tip before heading out onto the road is to prep your car. And that can be, of course, many things, but one of the most important things is, of course, making sure there is windshield fluid and that everything is working, making sure that your tires have decent enough pressure, either by just visually looking at them, making sure the tires are nice and plump, or testing the pressure with a tool. And of course, another thing is to make sure that when you leave, your tank is somewhat full. But my tip to you is actually not to fill up the tank fully right before the road trip, especially if you're heading out of the city, because usually outside of the city, like over here, I was pretty far away in Uxbridge, you will see that it's a bit cheaper. So I try to have about half of the tank full, but when I go outside of the city, I actually fill up on the way back to just kind of save a little bit on gas. So for those of you that are in Ontario, you must renew your license plate. Before you had to pay and there will be a sticker on your license plate. Right now you don't need to pay and you don't get a sticker actually, but you must renew, and I think you renew for 2 years. You can definitely check your license plate expiry date online. I'm going to link it down below. And the tip number 2 is also extremely important. It is know what to do. So this is a bit of a dramatic, I just found a stock video of a busted car. Hopefully if you get into an accident, well, hopefully you don't get into an accident, but if you do get an accident, it's not going to be as dramatic. But for this video, I do want to make a bit of a statement, and I do want you to know what to do if, God forbid, something happens. I actually just recently got rear-ended and I did not know what to do because that was my first experience. Number 1, remain calm. Do not stand on the road. Stand on the side of the road that has the traffic and that has cars speeding by you, especially if it's highway. This is very dangerous. You have to pull over very, very carefully. Number 2, take a video and photos of the scene just to make sure this is going to be helpful later on for the insurance and things like that. Number 3, this is important. This is what I did not know, and this actually was my mistake, so I want you to know what to do. Take down the person who rear-ended you, their phone number, name of the person. If you can take a photo of their driver's license, that would help a lot. You need their insurance policy and their insurance company. Again, if you can take a photo of their insurance paper, that would be great. And you also need to take a photo of their license plate, basically get their license plate number. And then another thing that my insurance wanted me to know when I went through this process with them is make and model of the car. So about this whole incident, it was highly unpleasant. The lady was not very cooperative because my problem was that I didn't know what to get. So all I got was a photo of her driver's license and her phone number. And because I didn't have the insurance, I needed that information from her. It was so hard to do. She tried everything under the sun to get out of this. She would call me and ask me like, oh, are you sure your bumper was not cracked before? And it for sure was not cracked. It was a perfectly fine bumper. So basically, the more you have, the less of the chance that you have to go through all of these hurdles and, you know, all of the unpleasantness. And of course, if you have any more tips when any kind of accidents happen, write them down below so that we all learn and know what to do in those situations, which I do hope that doesn't happen to any of us. Number 3 is an extremely important tip for me. I need to have water, and I specifically always have the Life Straw bottle. It has a built-in filter, meaning you can use tap water anywhere, fill it up, and you have the water. Of course, you can, buy bottled water from gas station, but sometimes you don't have time, or it's just so convenient to have a bottle with a filter. And also down below I created a really handy guide, and it's all of the coolest Amazon products that I know and I want you to consider for camping, road tripping, beach and hiking. And the link to the LifeStraw water bottle is on the very first page. And there are also many other cool gadgets, such as these headphones, which I swear by. I take them on every single trip. They basically cancel out any sound while you're sleeping, and they are so comfortable. So tip number 4 is helpful apps. There are, of course, a number of apps that are extremely helpful. I want to talk about Airbnb. So you're thinking, oh, road trips, that's kind of weird. That app is not particularly for road trips, but Airbnb has Experiences tab, which actually not a lot of people know about. And I have actually enjoyed a number of really cool experiences in Ontario. Specifically, a number of farms have a really decent, not very expensive tour. You go in there and they show you all of their animals, and you get to, pet a horse and hold a chicken. Anytime I'm with animals, I just get such a happy feeling. It's just such a beautiful experience. Swimply is another app. If you've been following me, I love it. I discovered it last summer. It's basically the way to rent pools by the hour. Just select whatever price range you want and whichever pool you want. I'm going to link down below a $50 credit for you to use. Basically, you will get a $50 to use on the Swimply, and I will also get a $50, so it's a win-win for both of us. GasBuddy is another great app. It basically shows you where you are and where's the cheapest gas. Definitely worth checking out to kind of save a few bucks. So snacks are extremely important on road trips. These cool charcuterie boxes have been making waves in the last year probably, and I've been wanting to do them. I think I will do soon because I have a road trip coming up. So what you can do in there is just anything you want, really. You can have vegetables and more of the cheeses and nuts, so more of the savory box, and then you can have more of the fruits, and then you can have more of the candy, and you can just mix everything. It's really your call. Definitely an adorable way to enjoy the road trip, and you can also pass that box to all of the people in the car. Another road trip idea over here. This is just somebody's packaging food, but really what you want to do is same way package food in maybe like lunch bags, and it can be different snacks. And every, let's say, hour that you're on a road trip, let's say it's a 6-hour road trip, you give the one bag to the kids or to your significant other, so that okay, we're getting there. I think that's also a very adorable idea. So number 6 tip is, I just called it other because I don't know what to call it, but essentially anytime I am driving anywhere or road tripping anywhere, I know for sure I'm gonna stop over some kind of a farm stand, and there will be either flowers, berries, eggs, or something that I will want, and I never have cash. Have cash. You will for sure find something on the side of the road that looks yummy. Tip number 7 is to use my books. So I have a number of books. This one is the latest one. It's a great collection of free destinations all over Ontario. I really tried my hardest to come up with the best free locations. But I also have 3 other books. I'm gonna link everything down below. Check them out. Tip number 8 is how to plan. So this is gonna be a bit of a longer tip, but this is how I plan every single of my road trips. So if you wanna know, stick around. So the first tip over here, I'm gonna show you how to simply favor something. For example, you type in Rouge Beach over here, you click on Save, and you click on Favorites, and that is gonna save in your favorites with a heart. While you're on it, it's gonna look like that circle, but when you type in a new location, like for example, Beachfront Park over here in Pickering, and you go again, Save, and mark it with a heart. Now you see the previous location has a heart, and now we're gonna actually gonna go one more location, so we have 3 locations, Rotary Park, and we're gonna do again Save, hit the heart, basically your favorite. So over here is the simplest way to mark up a number of locations in the area so that you don't forget. They're going to be marked with the cute little hearts. This is on desktop, but if you're using the same email account on your Google Maps, you will have the same hearts on your Google Maps on your phone as well. So now I want to show you how to create lists. Let's find Mel Lastman Square. So just then click Save at the bottom, New List. Let's name it North York. I'm doing whatever. This is nothing fancy. I'm just showing you how to do the list. So now when you click on that list, you're going to be inside of it. And let's say we want the Gibson House Museum nearby. Type it in and you go again, Save. And then North York shows up over there as a list. Now when you click all the way to the left, you will see North York list in there. And you have both of those locations. And now Aroma is another one. Same thing. Go Saved. go to North York list, and then you have all of the 3 locations, which is really cool. They are grouped together. There's sort of like a folder in North York folder, and you can share it. So click share, send link to view, and you basically email the link to all of your other people in the party. You all know where you're going and what your plan is. And another great way of planning your road trips is Google My Maps. In the search engine, any search engine, type in My Maps. And right away you will see My Maps-Google, that's the one you want. It is not an app, this is just part of Google, and as you can see I have tons of maps already. You do need to make sure that you are signed in into your Gmail account. This will not work if you don't have a Gmail account, so you will need to figure out a Gmail account. But if you already have one, perfect, just use that. Right here, create the new map. So it will take you to the world. First, what I do is I name the map. So let's call it, let's say this is a Toronto map. I actually just recently did a whole Toronto video about the highlights of Toronto, so this is just an example, but I'm actually going to show you already existing map that corresponds to the video. Both of them are going to be listed down below so that you can check it out if you would like to, if you are visiting Toronto. For the description, dates, I don't know, anything you want, you can add it here. So January, let's say 1st to 7th, let's say maybe you're going here. That's great, you have it over there. And over here is the main working area. So let me do the first location so that you can understand how this works. Let's say CN Tower. CN Tower is one of the places you want to check out. And by the way, at this point, you can put in anything. It doesn't need to be in chronological order. It's not the first place or second place because you don't know what's where. So what you're trying to figure out is like, here's highlights. Here's what I saw on TikTok, on YouTube. People recommend it. I want to put it all into the map and then I'm going to organize it. So let's say CN Tower. And right away, it appears over here. And by the way, make sure this is the correct location. And it is. So what I do over here is I click the plus sign and it adds it to my map. By the way, if you go over here, this is still on the CN Tower, you have a bunch of different options. So over here is the style. This is actually quite important. I'm going to talk about it a little bit later. You have edit. So this is really cool because you can put in any notes. Notes go here. So for example, one of the best notes is hours. So maybe open, I'm really not sure what time does CN Tower open. This is just completely example that this is not actual hours. So let's say you put it in the notes, you save it, and now anytime you click on it, it will be over here in the notes. You can also add an image or a video, maybe from, let's say maybe you're at a restaurant and you want to sample specific food and you can have an image as a reference. I don't really use that. Directions to there and to delete it. If you don't want this, you can delete it. Now we have this, that's great. Let's add more. Let's add Distillery District, also in Toronto. Over here it appears, adding it in there. So we have 2 now. Amazing. Let's add a couple of more so that I can show you how to chronologically order them. Casa Loma. And one more time, adding this on. So now that you have 3 locations, without complicating it further, let me just zoom out. So they are over here, 1, 2, 3. What's throwing me off is like Costco over here, different mall over here. They're all very similar looking. So that's why you have this base map. Click here, and this is the regular map, but this is also very dark. What I like is this. Look how nice. Oh my gosh, so clean and beautiful. This one is also kind of cool. You can definitely play around, see which one you like. I like this one, nice and clean. So the reason why I wanted to show you the simple way is that let's say you want to go to Distillery first over here, then you want to go to the CN Tower, and then you want to go to Casa Loma. But they're not in order right now. I mean, the most you need is to move Distillery as up over here as the first, and really the order is good now. So you have Distillery, then CN Tower, and Casa Loma. But unless you're looking over here, if you're looking at the map, you don't know what's what. This is my hack. You click on Distillery, you click on this little icon, the style icon. Here you can select whatever images they already have. I don't love these images. They are very generic. They're also very small. Not a fan. If you like them, use them. Definitely. There are different categories. Amazing. Surprisingly, there are no numbers. I don't know why. I think numbers should be one of the main things because you can visually see this is my first, this is my second. Anyway, go here, custom icon. And this is what I'm actually going to share with you guys down below. There's going to be a link to my Google Drive, and in there you're going to have these different numbers. Say okay, and look how cute this is. Your stop has a number. Ah, I love it. So let's do the same thing for CN Tower. Go over here, more icons, custom icon. It's a bit of a hassle to do, but if you're excited for the trip, you want to prepare, it's part of the experience. It's part of travel, at least for me. I don't know, maybe I'm a nerd, but I actually love doing this. And over here, we're going to style, more icons, custom icon, browse. I do wish they would include numbers. It's very surprising to me that they would not. Anyway, you get the point. You get the point. Here are the numbers. You have it all. I did up to 30 locations, up to 30 numbers. You can, of course, add endlessly, however amounts you have. So over here is a great example of a full map. I have done this recently for the video of the best 23 locations in Toronto. I'm going to link down below the whole video and the map so that if you are actually coming to Toronto, you can check it out. And here I wanted to show you the second way that I've seen people use my maps. I don't use it this way, but I do think that this is really visually helpful. So that's why I think you should also consider. Over here is an existing map that I already did for Toronto. This map has more of the food emphasis, so it has a bunch of bakeries, donuts. It also has like sightseeing places. It has a beer place. It has a pizzeria. So this way it's a little bit more visual versus just a number. There's going to be a download that's called icons, and these icons will be in there. You can of course get your own icons from the internet or use mine, up to you. And the way it works is exactly the same way. Let's add Amadeus Patisserie. It's one of my favorites. So it's all the way over here. Add it, plus. Then you go to Style, more icons, Custom Icon, Browse. And this is what you need to download from my Google Drive. In the icons folder, find croissant. Or whatever, if it's a cupcake place, find a cupcake, say okay, and there it is. It becomes a cute little cupcake. Yes. So let me show you what icons I already have. So I have bakery, I have beach, I have beer, I have burgers, camera, coffee, croissant, donut, hiking, martini, museum. This is cool so that maybe there's a place that doesn't correspond to one of these categories and you just want to see it. Pizza, ramen, steak, and a viewpoint. So I think I covered most of the things. Hopefully that is enough for you. But as I said, get any of them on Google. All of these though do not have the box, the white box around it. These are PNGs so that it's nice and transparent. And that's why, in my opinion, they look pretty. They look more organized. Another thing I want to show you is if you add a layer, adding a layer does is you can view, like you can hide or view some of the things. So for example, if you add a layer over here and let's say all of the patisseries, let's move them to this layer so that all of the sweet stuff, all of the desserts are in here in this different layer. And if you don't want to see it, you can just unclick it. And there you have it. You don't have those sweet places. You can concentrate on the other things. One more thing I forgot to mention, this system, this My Maps, works perfectly on Chrome. It keeps giving me bugs on Firefox, but it used to work on Firefox. So if you have issues, go on Chrome. And once you're happy with your map, it's actually pretty simple to see it on your mobile, on your cell phone. So open your Google Maps. At the bottom over there, you will see saved, hit saved, and then you will see maps, kind of middle to the right slightly. And over here are all of my maps. This is a different map that I was showing you before, but the idea is the same. You can click on any of the locations. There's a direction. You can start your Google Maps GPS over here. It will tell you how to drive there. So very handy map. So I hope you enjoyed this. This is definitely my favorite way to create itinerary for a road trip. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know your tips and tricks down below. Please subscribe, like, and share, and I will see you next time. Bye.